Okay, so good morning. I started out on my tablet, which was making everything very, very dark. I don't know why. I tried to move the lighting around, and so just decided to cut my losses, delete the video, and get out my phone here and do it on my phone today. And as I had said in the other video that I deleted, that my new laptop is coming. Hi Steph, thanks for popping on. My new laptop is coming today. So hopefully this is going to be the one, cross your fingers, that's going to work right, is going to keep up, and everything's going to be good with technology after this, hopefully. And also my husband is working on making sure that my internet speed is where it needs to be, because again, I'm not a technology person, and apparently our internet is supposed to be at 7 and it's only like at 5, so that may be part of the problem as well that you guys are having or I'm having with the technology and the lighting and the speed and all of those things. Drinking today, not drinking alcohol, that'd be nice. Switching it up a little bit. I wasn't feeling very well this morning, so I just wanted a cup of cocoa, so that's what I'm having. So this morning, we're going to do, I have a bunch of stuff here to show you guys, and I'm in the midst of moving everything around. I'm knocking stuff over. So today, we're going to talk about real basic astrology, and then I have a few things that I want to show you guys. So I went shopping last weekend and found some great deals, and of course I'm always shopping, I'm always buying. It's really a problem of mine. But I like it. I like my problem, so I'm not going to work on it. When I don't have money to eat anymore and money to feed my family anymore, then I'll worry about my shopping addiction. But until that time comes, I'm not going to worry about it, because I'm okay with my shopping addiction. So this morning's topic is astrology, real basic astrology, because I think we need to cover the basics before we get into anything too in depth, because astrology, you could read and read and read about astrology and still not know it all. But so today we're just going to go over the basics. I'm not going to go over any particular signs or anything like that. What I was thinking about doing is maybe in January, we'll pick the sign for that month. And at sometime during the month, I'll do a live that goes over the zodiac sign for that time. Our year is 12 months, but there's actually I think 13 signs. But we'll figure out. I can figure all that part out. You guys don't need to worry about that. And so sometime during that time, I will go over each of the signs. So it'll be a year-long thing. We'll go over the sign as it pertains to the correct time. But astrology basically is all the things in the universe that are connected and are in relationship to one another. And that's a big statement, so that's kind of hard. It's hard to picture everything in the universe, everything in the galaxy, everything that's connected. But that's kind of what astrology is. And then it's from there, you've got to break it all down. So like I said, there really is a lot to astrology. But since the beginning of time, since far back as we can tell, man in some way knew, about the seasons and the lunars and, the sun changing and astrology. So, this is definitely not anything new. But what man then just kind of intuitively knew, now for us with all our scientific and gadgets and everything, we can kind of prove some of it. But we kind of already knew that. But now in modern technology, it's these theories have been proven that the moon cycles affect us. I mean, it affects the ocean. Why would it not affect us, right? We're mostly water too, so so astrology is the study of the correlation between the heavenly bodies, which is your planets and your stars and all that, and events on Earth. So they focus on patterns, relationships, which most of you know, because in your horoscope, if you read your daily horoscope or something, there's usually something about the relationships in there. So it's patterns, relationships, and cycles is kind of the breakdown of the astrology. So it can open up a lot of doors for you. I've got my my natal chart. So what your natal chart is there's a site you can go to, and I've put it up there before, but I will see if I can find it again and put it up there for you today. So you need to know the day you were born, you need to know where you were born, the city, and you need to know what time. And what that does is it charts out where all the planets were, the sun, the moon, and everything to the exact minute of when you were born. So I've done this because most of us always know that our basic zodiac sign. I'm a Sagittarius. I've always known that. But a lot of times when you read the Sagittarius stuff, it kind of is like, well, that doesn't really seem to fit me. That part does, but that part doesn't. Well, sometimes I'm like that, but sometimes I'm not. So, it was kind of like, well, I didn't put much stock into it until I got a little bit more in depth into the astrology and got my natal chart, and you find out you actually have, there are all kinds of meanings of your personality and things for all the planets from depending on where you were born, when and where you were born. But we kind of stick with 3 basic ones. You have your main one, so the one where you were actually just born in. So I was born a Sagittarius. And then you have what's called the moon, the rising, and the sun. And so those are 3 other ones. And when you learn the meaning, which we will, so we'll go over what a sun sign is, a moon sign is, and a rising sign. Not today, but we will go over that. And again, I want to kind of get that in before January, so that when we get into January and we start talking about the actual signs and what they mean and stuff, everybody will have a chance to know what that means, and hopefully have a chance to find out the time they were born. For me, it wasn't on my birth certificate. The time I was born, my location, my doctor, my parents, all that stuff was on there, but my time wasn't. And so, I thought, well, I'm going to have to buy a birth certificate. I'm going to have to buy a record. I'm going to have to buy something. And I got the email for the town office for Concord, Massachusetts, because that's where I was born. And I emailed them and said, this is what I'm doing. I'm studying astrology. I'm looking for the time I was born. And the lady was very nice. She got my birth certificate, whatever. I don't know if it's in an old box or on her computer or where it was, but she emailed me back the time. So it was great. She was very quick. I got it back within a couple of days, and I had my time, and it didn't cost me anything. It just cost me a second to write an email. So if you don't know what time you were born, it's not on your birth certificate. Just find the phone number. I find the emails are better because if you call somebody and they're busy and they got 5 million things they're going to do, they might just be like, I don't have time for this today. If you send an email and they pull it up when they have time, they're going to read it, and then they're going to do it when they have time, and they're going to get back to you. So I find when it's stuff like that, that you're asking somebody to kind of do something extra like that, I think it's better to do it in an email, because it allows them to kind of do it on their own time and not feel pressured. Because if you're on the phone with them, they feel like they've got to go do it right now. And, so it might stress people out. Just my opinion. But I did make sure to send her back an email and thank her and tell her how wonderful she was. So that kind of goes, that's your natal chart. And so once you get into your natal chart, and we cover all the, like I said, the sun, moon, and the rising signs, and I'll give you, kind of a breakdown of what all of those things mean. And I think that'll help everybody better understand themselves. I think a lot of us understand ourselves pretty well. But when you can actually read it and fit it and it all seems to just fit in place. It's like, wow, that's kind of weird, but cool. All right. So again, that's kind of where it opens the doors of understanding our physiological nature. So, I think that it really does, because once I've learned all of my other signs and I put, them, you find out what they are. So I'll tell you the bad one. My moon sign is Capricorn, and Capricorns are known, kind of going into what I said I wasn't going to go into, but Capricorns are very business oriented. They are here to make money. They're here to work. That's their main goal. And so that's my moon rising, my moon sign. And so, I do tend to get focused like that. I'm all about, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make something. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. I'm going to work. And I don't remember to make time for myself. So that didn't fit in my Sagittarius piece, because your Sagittarius are very free and kind of wing it and go as it is. And it's like, no, that's not me. I can, because being an event coordinator, I have to be able to be very adaptive. And if something goes wrong, I have to be able to just go in and, fix something else. If the cake comes smushed, for a wedding, you have to, think quick and figure out, how can we fix this? Let's take out a layer. Let's do something. Let's run to the grocery store. So you have to be able to kind of fly the seat of your pants kind of thing. But I get very work oriented. So that was my Capricorn and my moon sign. And again, we'll kind of go over that, and hopefully that will explain some things for everybody. But you do need to know you do need to get your natal chart. And like I said, to get your natal chart, you do have to have your date of birth, your place of birth, and your time of birth. And usually if you just are, if you need it and you contact them at the town office that you were born, the lady I contacted was very friendly and got it for me. So our soul kind of appears through this language of our zodiac signs, and we kind of resonate with images and symbols, which each zodiac sign has a symbol. Mine is the centaur with an arrow for Sagittarius, which is the sign of a hunter. And when you look at it, real quick, you go, I'm not a hunter. I don't hunt. I don't fish. I don't go outside. That's not me. But I'm always kind of after something, so I'm always kind of after something. So that's how the sign of the hunter kind of resonates with me. I'm always on, what's the next project? What's the next thing we can do? So I think that's kind of how that fits in for my personality. So astrology provides us technology and receiving and translating concepts and knowledge. So again, that's just all, that basically just is like, it just helps us have a better understanding of who we are and kind of why we are the way we are. And it does help, sometimes people say, well, I am who I am and it doesn't really matter. Well, that's great. And if that's the way you see it, and you're happy with that, that's perfectly fine. I'm a person who likes to learn. I like to know things. I like to know all the things. So I want to learn as much as I can learn about this. But when I was watching a lot of my videos and reading and studying about this, which I haven't even covered all of it yet, because like I said, it's huge. But my husband is a Virgo. And, to sit and read what a Virgo is, a Virgo is somebody here is to fix things, wants to fix everything. And that is my husband. My husband is always outside. He's always fixing something. He's working on something. He's mending something. He's making something. But it's not just that part of fixing things. Like if I go to him with a problem for myself, say it's work or a friend or, something that I do for one of the committees or something, he gets very upset because he can't fix it. And it really is very hard for him to sit there and listen to me tell him about something that he can't fix. It makes him very upset. And so his solution is, you can't go anymore. And it's like, well, no, I can probably come up with a solution, and stuff. There was the one time I just said, you're right, you know what, I'm not going anymore. It's just, it was bad. It was really bad. But I'm just like, I'm not going anymore. But in most situations, I'm like, no, I'll work it out. I just need a minute to think about it. I'll figure it out and I'll come up with something. But, to kind of understand that aspect of my husband, and that is exactly how he is. He wants to totally fix everything. If it's broken, he needs to fix it. And if he can't fix it, he gets very upset. And it's not pretty sometimes. And you might need to smudge after. But that's kind of, it just helps kind of understand in your relationship as well, how to, kind of deal with that. So that made me kind of sit back and think, I don't want to not have conversations with my husband. And I don't want to not include him in my life. But I've kind of made it a point now when I'm talking to him about to kind of say, I don't say it bluntly, but kind of say, I'm not expecting you to fix this for me. I'll figure it out. It's okay. I'm fine. It'll be okay. I just need to work through it and figure it out. And that kind of helps him a little bit, because then he knows that I'm not like, I don't need him to fix it, which he still struggles with. But it's not as, if I kind of, like, oh, it's fine, I'll figure it out, it's okay. Silly thing is, like, right now I'm going through premenopause, and I'm having hot flashes like crazy. So 1 minute, because normally I'm freezing. So 1 minute I'm freezing, and the next minute I'm sweating to death. And he wants to, get up and change the heat all the time. And I'm like, no, just because he wants to fix it for me. And I'm like, no, it's fine. Just leave the heat alone. I will get over it. It'll go by and I'll be fine, because if you turn the heat down in 2 seconds when my hot flash is gone, I'm going to be freezing and I'm going to tell you to go turn the heat back up. So I'm like, but that's just how he is. He just wants to fix it. He needs to feel like he's fixing everything. So understanding those signs is really cool, and it can help in, even your friends, if you have a base, you don't need to know the whole natal chart of all your friends, but, if you basically have an understanding of what their sign is and kind of that underlining personality type, sometimes it can just help in the way we interact with each other and make things easier, more pleasant. I don't know. Sometimes friends have fights over stupid things, and sometimes I think if we knew each other's zodiac signs a little better, we would have a better way of communicating and talking, and we'd just be a little bit more aware. But I just think it's really cool to know mine, but I did want to learn about my husband's, and and certain things too. Like once I get really into it and stuff, and I really start to learn things, like I'll go look up my kids' zodiacs and stuff like that. And, like I was learning about angel numbers and birth numbers, and I did mine and learned about it. And then when I was a little bit more comfortable with it, I've done like my husband's and my kids and things like that. But I try to stick with mine and learn it and understand it, and before I start to go impose my ways on other people. So the other few things I wanted to go over about astrology is astrology a science? Not really. It is categorized as a metaphysical, which is, our rocks and our oils and all of those things fall under metaphysical. But there are a lot of scientific proof that's coming, that has come and is probably still going to come, about how the planets and the stars and everything affect us. So it isn't science-based, but as we get more advanced and we get more in touch with technology, it is becoming more scientifically proven. But it's not based on a based on science. So hopefully that answers one question. So I just have a list of questions that sometimes get asked. So the next one was, how does astrology determine my horoscope? So again, you have a birth chart. You would get your natal chart, and you would figure out all of your, like I said, your birth sign, and then your moon, your rising, and your sun, and where all the planets line up and stuff. And then they take that and they put it with where all the planets are now, and that's how they come up with your horoscopes. So if you do a daily horoscope, those are really just based on your birth sign. So a typical horoscope you read in the paper or a magazine or something like that is going to be just your birth sign. So it would be just, for me, it would be just Sagittarius. And so it's going to be a real loose horoscope. So like a lot of times when I read a horoscope, it's something fabulous is going to happen. Well, that could mean I find a dollar bill on the ground, or it could mean I win the megabucks. So, some of those you read in the daily are pretty wide scoped, and it can also be open to interpretation, because some people would find a dollar on the ground and be like, no big deal, and not think that was fabulous. So again, it's kind of perspective and how you look at things, but those horoscopes are usually, very wide scoped, general based on your birth sign. If you go and have someone actually read your chart and do your horoscope, it would be very in depth. I think Rena does it. Don't quote me on that. Rena, if you watch this and you want to pop in your comment, whether or not you do it or not, because I know you do tarot readings and stuff, but I thought at some point I saw that you did natal chart readings as well. So I don't know enough about it yet to read for somebody, because until I'm really, really comfortable with it, I won't do it, because I don't want to give somebody wrong information. Yeah, so your horoscope is basically depending on the zodiac signs at the time of your birth, then calculating it to where the planets and things are aligned now, depending on if things are in retrograde and all kinds of things like that. But in the newspaper or magazine, it's going to be a very loose interpretation of your horoscope. And like I said, it's going to be very wide scoped. Something amazing is going to happen in your relationship this month. Could be you went out to dinner. Could be you got engaged. Could be your husband brought you home a rock. My husband brings home a lot of rocks. Sorry. All right. So how does astrology influence my personality? My opinion, it doesn't influence your personality. It's part of your personality. So astrology reflects your personality along with so many other aspects. Again, your birth chart has a lot to do with that. And so you really do need to, if you really want to dive into your own astrology, you really need to get your natal chart, your birth chart. It's the levels of consciousness and the workings of your energy. And then it's really based on how you choose to, work with that energy and work with those experiences. Like I said, when I read my birth sign, when I read my birth sign, and I thought, well, a lot of these things don't really fit, some of them do, some of them don't and stuff. And then I found out all these other aspects of my chart, and it's like, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. So that, that made sense to me. And, being aware that now my moon sign is Capricorn, it really kind of bothers me. I don't want to be a Capricorn. Sorry if there's Capricorns out there, but I don't want to be a Capricorn. And I think that's the Sagittarius part of me, who's just that free will, go with things. And then on the very other end of the aspect, I have Capricorn, who is like so serious and work driven. But that makes sense in my personality. But, my brain says like, I don't want to be a Capricorn. But it is what it is. It does make sense. It does fit. But understanding that, kind of helped me, see why things are the way they are. And also gave me insight on how, because, being a moon side Capricorn, and a Capricorn, like I said, is very work driven and very like goal driven and things like that. That doesn't have to be bad. Capricorns tend to not have like really awesome relationships. They're not the guy that's going to be the super romantic guy, because he's working. So that's kind of the Capricorn side of all of that, is they're so goal driven that everything else is just kind of like a bother to them. Like relationships and marriage and kids and stuff can be a bother to them. Depending on, then you have to go in again. If you are born in a Capricorn, that doesn't mean that's going to be the case necessarily, because it depends on what your other signs are. So if you're the reverse, if you're a Capricorn and maybe your moon sign is a Sagittarius, who is very free and open and loving, those could balance each other out. So there isn't really any good or bad signs. They're just different signs, and different signs have different meanings. But again, like I said, if you're a Capricorn, that doesn't mean you're destined to have no relationship and you're just going to work the rest of your life, because you need to find out what your moon, your sun, and your risings are, to kind of balance out that Capricorn sign. Hopefully this is making sense to you, because I really kind of put off astrology for a while because it is so complex and so in-depth. So I had kind of put it off, but like I said, I really do want to start at the beginning of the year going over the signs during the time of the sign. And so I really felt that it was important to get these some of these basic things in. And so that's what we're trying to work on today. So I don't think your zodiac necessarily influences your personality. I think your zodiac signs are part of your personality, part of who you are. They're what make up who you are. They're just kind of wrapped up in a nice little tidy, this is what a Capricorn means. This is what a Sagittarius means. But like I said, I really, really do recommend that you get your natal chart done, and that'll give you a whole other aspect of what your signs are. All right, I have to get ready to go here pretty quick, but as always, I have things to show you. So I went shopping this weekend with my mom and my daughter down in North Conway, and I stopped in because I had been hearing that TJ Maxx and Home Goods are now carrying crystals. I have mixed feelings about that. I think it's great that crystals can be easily purchased from regular stores, because I think everybody should be working with crystals, and that's my point, is to teach you guys so that you can learn about it, and then hopefully you guys go teach somebody else, and on and on and on and on. So to have crystals in stones or gems, whatever, easily accessible, I think is great. But the other thing that I'm kind of concerned with is where they're coming from, where they're sourced from, and if they're real or not. I ordered on Amazon an amethyst sphere, and when I got it, it was a purple marble. I was not happy. But this was one of the pieces I did find in TJ Maxx, and it's huge. It's heavy. It's very, very heavy. So this is an onyx. It's beautiful. And I love all the colors. It just kind of makes me think of Earth, and the greens and the browns. And I did get this one at TJ Maxx, and I paid $6.99 for it. The weight kind of tells me that it's real. The feel of it kind of tells me that it's real. I was kind of skeptical, though, when I saw the price, because I'm like, this should not cost $6.99. But the way the forms and the lines in there and stuff, I'm pretty sure this one is real. So that was an onyx. So I just did put a bookmark in here real quick to just kind of tell you what onyx was, because I'm using my Crystals for Beginners book. I love it because it's just really simple. So you can just look up, you can't see it good, onyx, and it tells you the colors and the root chakra it's good for, and then there's a little bit of what it helps with, and tips for usage. So the usage tip on this is put onyx on your bedside table or to the headboard, and that can help balance intimate relationships. It can also help with protective and grounding. So this is really a good book if you want. There is a I think I've shown you this book before, but they're in the back, so you can just go and find onyx in the index, and then it'll tell you what page it's on, and then there's all the kind of information. But now we're getting off on the book, which was not my point. It was for the onyx. All right, so that was the onyx. Then I did get, sorry, I'm trying to rush here and it's going to mess me up. That was one of the things I got from TJ Maxx. I didn't bring it out, I forgot it, but I also found a giant Himalayan salt, which I think most of you know what Himalayan salt looks like. It's a pink Himalayan salt tea light holder at TJ Maxx, and it was $3.99, and I've put that in my bathroom. And I forgot to bring it out to show you, but I think most of you know what pink Himalayan salt looks like. All right, so for one of the rituals coming up, I can't remember which one it is now. I have too many things going on. It was a kit, and the kit was quite expensive, and I didn't need the kit because I already had a bunch of the stuff that was in the kit. One of the things that wasn't in the that was in the kit that I didn't have yet was she gave you 3 choices of wands to work with. I wrote down the 3 wands and found the meanings of them and everything, and picked the one that I really wanted to work with, which was Larvikite, and I'm horrible with these names, and I apologize, guys. So this is, I actually ordered this one off Etsy. Somebody in the group that I am in, I said, well, I really need to buy this. Sage Goddess doesn't have the wands of this. It was only in the kit. That was the only way you could get it, and I didn't want to buy the kit. And so I went on the group, and one lady says, my mom sells on Etsy. This is her information. And so I purchased it from her. Not to say that she's any more reputable than anybody else, but the way that it reflects the light, and it's really hard for you guys to see it, but the markings in it and everything, it's real. So that is Larvikite, and that I will be using in one of the rituals that was coming up. But I had all the other things. One of the other things that I bought is frankincense from the Jade Bloom. I use frankincense every morning for my face. I used to break out horrible, and every morning I put a drop of frankincense and a drop of lemon in my makeup primer, and my face hardly ever breaks out. I mean, I still get breakouts, but not anything like it was before. So I was out. I just used up the bottle that I had, so I ordered some more. And with it came a free bottle of peppermint, which I have tons of peppermint, but peppermint is one of those oils that is can be used for almost anything. and so you can never have too much peppermint, but it was free, so I got that. The other thing that I ordered from J. Bloom is I got one of them here. I ordered some empty bottles. They came, I think I ordered 10 of them, and I got them for like $11.99, which with this and the frankincense put me over my $15, so my shipping was free. And so I'm going to start making some of my own blends, my own perfumes. So if anybody's interested in any of that, if they want to order a special blend, again, just, comment or send me a private message. The first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do a holiday one, and I haven't figured out the whole formulation yet, but I think it's going to have like ginger and clove and some cinnamon, maybe some fir. I have some balsam fir. I have some winterberry. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to put in it yet, but it's going to be like a holiday scent. So if anybody's interested in that, you can let me know. I haven't figured out what I'm going to charge for it because I haven't figured out what I'm going to put in it yet. So obviously if I put more stuff in it, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than if I put only 2 or 3 cents. If I put like 5 or 6, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it won't be crazy. It won't be $30 a bottle. So, I'm thinking maybe 10-ish, give or take. So if anybody's interested in that. And then the last thing before I go real quick, because I'm going to be late for work as always, is, I told you guys I'm going to show you things I buy, even if it's not from, because I showed you the onyx that came from TJ Maxx. That didn't come from one of the companies that I work for. So the other thing I wanted to show you was I have that monthly subscription. I can't talk this morning, to Might Fix. And they send me something every month. It's $10. They send me something every month that is, environmentally good for the planet, for yourself. And so what I got was this little kit. It's like a little Velcro bag. Has a clip on it if you want to clip it onto something. And it came with your wooden utensils. It came with chopsticks as well. I don't use chopsticks, so I took them out. They're just in my kitchen drawer. And what I did was I have these metal straws because I don't use plastic straws. So I have a bendy one. It's not actually bendy, but it's bent. And then I have a straight one. And then I have a little straw cleaner. And so I took out the 2 chopsticks and I replaced them with the 2 metal straws. And so when we go places, I take this with me. So if we are someplace that has plastic silverware, I don't use it. I will use this. We don't tend to go to too many places that use plastic silverware. If we go out to dinner or somewhere, it just doesn't usually happen. But sometimes when I'm on the motorcycle and we stop for ice cream or something, I'll have my wooden spoon instead of a plastic spoon. So again, it's that I purchased it for myself because I'm allergic to plastic, so I don't use any plastic. But on the whole bigger scale than that, if I can have this one spoon and it goes with me and it saves me throwing away a dozen plastic spoons this summer, you're like, it's a plastic spoon. But if all of us throw away 12 spoons this summer, that's a lot of plastic spoons in the ocean floating around. So I just think if you can, if you want information on this, again, just comment to me or private message me. I will send you the link to this. Usually your first month is like $3, and then after that it goes to $10. When you subscribe to this for the $10 a month, you don't get to choose what comes every month. They just send you something. And so far I've got metal containers and glass containers and the dryer balls, and I don't know, I've got a bunch of other things. But I add to my cart, because they have lots of items you can buy, and I add to my cart. So like this month I added my laundry detergent, and I ordered my feminine products, which are all organic and biodegradable. And because I had it shipped with this, it shipped free. If I wanted it shipped right away, it would cost me shipping. But I just plan ahead. I know when I know it's coming, and I go around the house and go, okay, I need this and this and this and this and this. I get my cleaning supplies. It's all natural. It's all biodegradable. Nothing comes in plastic. So it's just a really great company. I don't get any kickbacks from this. They have a loyalty program. If I sign up friends, I think I get something for free or something like that. But I don't even care. It's more for your health and for the planet. So with that, I'm going to say good day to you. As always, remember to be kind. And again, we're in November, so just try to pick something today to be thankful for. As always, I'm thankful for you here, and I'm thankful that I have heat this morning, and I'm really thankful that I have a car starter. So I'm going to go use that and start my car and make it toasty warm before I go out and get in it. So again, be kind, ladies. Lots of love. Thanks for popping on. Have an awesome day.